on with my video again, video 3 for my YouTube channel. And I was going to get ready and look all glamorous for it, but I thought, heck it, why not do it when I get ready? It's video 3, so past relationships. Now, it started out very tragically. I have to say, all through middle school, primary school, no, didn't really have a first kiss, I don't think. We did what kids did and showed each other our bits in this tunnel that we used to play in at primary school. And I just thought it was normal for kids, and yeah. At primary school, my autism wasn't as noticeable. I mean, my mum got told in preschool that there was something not right with me compared to my brother, and they tried to have me statemented, I think they call it, in primary school. It never happened. I was always on the borderline of it, which is funny with someone who's been diagnosed with BPD. Oh, the irony. But yeah, the years would go by, and then middle school came, and I went to a Catholic middle school, which was not the intent. My mum wanted me to go to a Protestant middle school along with my brother, which didn't happen, which means you have more likely opportunity for that to happen if you have a sibling already in the school. And at the time, my mum did these posters around where I live, and they ended up in the paper saying, "Get Cherry into Trinity." And this is some of the ways that my mum would smother me, but not smother me at the same time. And looking back, it was embarrassing, and yeah, it was always different. Going to that Catholic school wasn't a nice experience. When you're a shy kid, I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, when you're a shy kid at school, you get picked on for it. Like, if you don't want to talk up in class, they will target you. The other kids will target you, and it's just not fair. It's like, I believe a lot in conspiracy theories, which should have another name because they're always true most of the time. Whereas school is like the army, it's a system of people, way of being, which strips you of your individuality. And yeah, I'm going a bit off topic here. In high school, I'm going to go to high school, there was this guy I really fancied, and I didn't have much self-confidence in myself at all back then. I was like chubby-ish, but not as chubby as I am now. I've never been this big in my life as I am now. And he used to come over to our art table and art, and he'd like sneak around and be a bit playful, but I would just like freeze up. I would almost say that I'd had selective mutism while I was at school, but at home be completely different character. It's crazy. It's just who I was. And also in high school, I was always jealous of my elder sister. Like, I have 3 older sisters, but we've got a brother in between me and my 3 older sisters. So I felt competition because I was younger and not as developed, except the chest area. But yeah, and my sister started going out with one of my brother's friends, and I have to say I was jealous because me and him were the same age, and he was popular, which helped a bit for me. This was during my last year of high school though, and it was getting on, and it was like, I'd had my first kiss with my best friend when I was 14, and that's when most people lost their virginity where I live. I was just innocent, and because I wasn't talking to the boys in high school, I was just thought, this is wrong. And then after that, high school still hadn't lost my cherry, and I used to go, "Dad, if you pop your cherry," and I still see these girls around now. It's like, no, I haven't, yeah. Don't embarrass me and draw attention to this more. It's already a sad situation, you know. I didn't like it, you know, so that was that. And then I went to some GP. This place was like, right, you did apprenticeships there where you'd work for a shop, or you'd do work experience. It was fun, and we had a laugh there. But yeah, One day I was with one of my friends and we were walking about, I think we were on one of our lunch breaks and trying to do something. We were up to something, we're looking for someone, and walked past this Indian restaurant, and there was this guy staring out the window, this Indian guy, like smiling and dreamy eyes, but he was bald. And I just thought, oh, he's lovely. And something must have subconsciously attracted me to this man, because I thought, oh, he's not English, and it'll be okay. And I'm drawn to him. And I sometimes, when, because I was really shy, I would also have moments where I would just be like, no, I'm confident, I'm going to do it. Once I get a plan, I'm in my head, I'm stuck to it, I'm going to do it. If it's something I want, I'm going to go for it. And because time was getting on, and I was been 60 in a couple months now, I thought, yeah, we'll see what happens here. And this guy just had such a nice smile, and I fancied him, like, just looking at him. So I told my friend that, and I think she's probably a bit horrified. Probably, maybe, I don't know, because she'd had a lot more experience looking back. See, looking back when you're older, you see things for what they really were, and it does start to creep you out. And going back to my high school year, I went with one of my friends who was 2 years below me, and it was like, right, we're doing this. And afterwards, I'm going to leave my number. It was all flirtatious and playful, like, oh, thank you, I'll have a chicken korma, please, stuff like that. But yeah, it was all flirtatious and fun. And then when you're that age, everything is fun and exciting and new. So, and then life takes it out of you as you get older. Well, if you go down the wrong track, it might be exciting to some people. But this whole pandemic has made that very hard to believe. And my friend Jasmine could be quite controlling and quite like, good to do this, and it was just bossy. I used to have to meet her halfway when she came round to my house, and then go back to my house. It's very weird, but yeah. So we went out for this meal, and I left my number on a napkin with my name, and we left the company, like, all excited. He left the restaurant, quick, I've done it. Have you definitely left it? Yeah. Walked up the road, round the corner, waited. Oh, when's he gonna text? And it wasn't long. It was probably about 20 minutes later, saying, hi, my name's Joy. Yeah, it wasn't his real name, I don't think. He had a few names, let's say. And this guy was bald and said he was 24. I know that can probably happen at 24, but let's just say he wasn't 24 at all. It was really exciting, when you first text them. I can't remember what I was wearing, but I'm going back to my teenage years now. I'm wearing the pinks and reds, so I probably wore then. I had like this stripy pink top that did up here, so like mid-2000s, and one of those little tie around things there, and probably leggings, because leggings are always in, No, I actually had some jeans, and I used to wear jeans, and a white belt. So I probably wore that with my red lace bra coming out. And yeah, I was so excited. And here's a red flag from this. I was 16, like I said to you at the time. And he was like, oh, I thought you were 15. And was almost like disappointed, because I'm not going to be like a racist, but like making a judgment. But like, I don't know, a lot of times in those countries that the age of consent is a ridiculous age, and people get married. He was from Bangladesh, and honestly, I don't really know much about that country to know. You can tell me in the comments if you want. But I was really excited, and this was all new to me, so it was really fun. And met in the evenings and came around my house. And get this, so he lived in a shared house which was above the other Indian restaurant up the road. And it was after work. No, it was actually in the middle of the day between shifts, and no one was about. And he took me into his room upstairs, which is weird. And all I remember is it had Bob the Builder sheets. It was really weird. But it was like one of those houses, like, not immigrants live in. Well, yeah, immigrants live in and share rooms. And that's where I lost my cherry. And yeah, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't great, but it was new. I can't honestly say to you what it feels like now, like the experience, like, because my memory is so bad. But yeah, it was just part of it. And I was like, oh, I've done it now, finally. It wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. Um, the second time, however, was, maybe he didn't step it in right or whatever, but yeah, I remember it being agony and having to maybe even stop. And that was in the restaurant. That happened a few times, I tell you, and running around naked in restaurants was, yeah, a bit cool. I felt like a badass, you know. It was fun for a girl of that age, and I can tell you the hygiene was not good with what he was doing with himself after he'd come. It was not great. But yeah, the experience was thrilling, I tell you. Scary, fun, and yeah. And like I said, met him in October, so this time, whoa, must have been 16 years ago, I think, 2006. Yeah, 16 years ago. Wow, it's crazy. Oh, wow. 16 years ago, yeah, 17 years ago maybe. Um, so it was coming up to Christmas. We'd been dating like a couple of months, and in that time, even in a couple of months, I forget how close you get to someone. Even if you're like only spending a couple of nights with them a week, you're getting takeaways out of it. Everything was fun. My brother wasn't happy when he found the pill in my bedroom drawer, and I just didn't have an answer, but I said at least it's being safe, and it was the right thing to do. Remember the first few times I did it, we used protection, like condoms, and and then we just stopped and I just trusted it to be okay. But I shouldn't have. Basically, around Christmas, I was really scared, and I've had a few scary experiences like this in my youth. I noticed that I had some little blisters down there. My mum's a nurse. I vaguely remember my mum even possibly looking at it. Turns out it was herpes. Yeah, how awful. Like the first time you have sex with someone and you get that. Now, I told him and he knew that I hadn't been with anyone else. Tried to blame it on me. And for some reason, his ones didn't show up as quick as mine. So it looked that way, but I hadn't. I'm telling the truth. Like, I've got no reason to lie. And blamed it on me. He would say awful things to me, like, you need to practice and watch some corn, basically. And what a thing to say to someone who's just, like, lost their virginity and chose you out of everybody. And then you put that in there, like, I think that's really cruel. I didn't stand for it. I was like, no, he came for Christmas. It was really awkward. And then 2 days later, I thought, I can't do this. I can't stay with someone who knowingly do this to me. Gone, you're gone. My dad wasn't going to shout at him because he's useless. So my mum did. My mum went in there with his stupid shoes that curled up with, and his friend in there called Moncha. And later, his real name Bobby, they all called him. Because my next boyfriend was Turkish and worked next door, and my friend's mum was like, what's she doing, working her way up the road? Maybe I don't know what I was doing at the time, but he was like trying to say to my mum how unserious it was, and my mum was like, I'm a nurse, I know how serious it is. So yeah, thank you for giving me that and trying to tell me how unserious it was. I think a couple of times he tried to get back with me, but then that was it. I had enough of it anyway. Didn't like the way his attitude was and how he thought he was better. But a few times later over the years, I was like, give me money for what you've done. You need to give me compensation. I do, however, think that should be like, you should get compensation for someone knowingly giving you a disease. Why not? That's awful. Awful. I'm gonna say I think he was probably in his late 30s, and I was 16 and didn't know any better. So, girls, wait till you get to my age, and you'll look back and you'll see these weird things like occur. Maybe, hopefully not. I hope that's not the case. Maybe stick to your men your own age, because I've always gone for older guys, and they ain't always all that. So yeah, I thought, I'm not taking this. And I was proud of myself back then because I just didn't. Even though I was shy, maybe this broke some of the shyness. And oh God, I miss those years so much. That verge of not knowing what's going to become of life and not really. I don't know. I worked when I was younger. I could work when I was younger, but it was all really like seasonal work. And I didn't worry about being an adult, which I probably should have more. Maybe grades do matter. Who knows? It's what you choose in life, doesn't it? And it's the way you go. And trauma doesn't always help, does it? You know? Anyone who's had trauma in their life, which is, I'd say 80% of people, maybe more, 90% of people. And everyone's got a different types of trauma and things that set you off. Sometimes it's the little things, and sometimes you can handle the big bad crap. But there, so the first relationship was with a bald narcissist, which is exactly what my father is. Sometimes I think my dad is not a narcissist. Sorry, I'm cleaning my beauty blenders. Sometimes I think my dad's not a narcissist, and I'm not sure what it is, because he doesn't go on a rage, like an angry rage, but he does do the gaslighting and pulling you back in and all that crap. And I don't know, it's weird. I'm sure it's a lot of things together. I mean, parents are just people too, I get that. But I envy him because, I don't know, I envy him in some ways. Sometimes I think I don't want to be anything like you, though. Relationship 2, Sinan, a lovely Turkish man. Me and my friend were just hanging out, and annoying Joy next door from the kebab house and just being dicks and shouting stuff. And one of my friends, Laura, went around with a note saying, "This man has herpes, don't go near him." And like, yeah, it was crazy. Those were the days, and so many those friends, and they were very protective of me. So me and my friend Jazz were going next door. She was my best friend at the time. We were friends for years. I really miss her. So we were going there, and there was this gorgeous man with beautiful green eyes and jet black hair. And I thought, I'm gonna get him. So I went there a few times and got some food or just hung about. And then even with another one of my friends, Lottie, who I hung around with sometimes too, but she was more hard to get hold of. One night we were like hanging about, me, her, and this other girl that we knew, and they were like, "Oh, can we have a lift home?" And they both lived in Godshill and Wroxall, and I lived in Newport, right round the corner from where I was working. So they were like, "Oh no, take them home first." And he had a friend that was called Morat, but they called him Borat because it was 2007 as well at the time, and yeah, they're making fun of him. I've had a light bulb moment of one of the best nights of my entire life. It was so much fun. I miss it so much. Anyway, like, I stayed in the car, we were like chatting with them about stuff, and it was a language barrier. Obviously, it was a lot harder. I think it was even harder than it was with my Bangladesh boyfriend. Yeah, so in the car, and it was all exciting and giggly like teenage girls. He was only 21. I was 17. Yeah, so we're in 2007 now. And after that bad experience, oh God, I forgot to tell you the worst part of the end of the Joy thing. So I went to the STI clinic with my eldest sister, and she was like, "This is like your first time of anything like that." I was like, "Yeah, it is. I haven't gone through anything like this at all in my life, like sexually." And yeah, I went into a room, and I'm not exaggerating, there's about 5 doctors and nurses, and they had like, what was it, like a plastic, and they shoved it up there oh my God, the pain of it and the humiliation at that age of being somewhere like that when you hadn't really done anything wrong. Like, what is my karma of this? Oh, it's my Pluto and moon in the 4th house in transformation, and the fact that Pluto is my dominant planet along with the sun being myself, my body. Yeah, so a lot of things with my body are prevalent in my life. So yeah, that was the last part of that bad thing. So yeah, I had a lot of hate for that man and anger, but Sinan was the one who made me and broke me. Well, they all have that energy to them. Anyway, so at the end of the night, when they'd got out of the car, I was like, so you're going to give me your number then? You're going to give me your number? And yeah, he did, because I've always liked to be the one that chased, and it's something to do with my BPD, I'm sure, like, because I never let it happen at school, and if I was going to do it, I was going to be in control of this narrative. I had so much fun after work one night, and this was a really fun night. He took me and my friend Lottie to Tesco's, got some vodka, and she was of the Morat guy, and we just stayed out all night getting more alcohol, kissing in this place called Churchlet, which is in Newport, and just having fun, just snogging and having a good night. It was so much fun. We stayed up all night. It was meant to be at HDP the next day. My friend was meant to be at work, I think, but we were just like on the bus, and oh, it was just amazing. I've just had such a good memory of it, even though it doesn't sound like much. We were just getting to know each other. The beginning of relationships are just so appealing to me. They're just like my kink almost, in a way. And this guy was so much fun, and he'd only have one day off. He'd work really hard, and that's where it comes into it. He was on a student visa instead of a work visa, maybe, and he was working ridiculous hours that were like illegal. But on the days off, we'd go and like walk around the forest. We went to college at the same time while he was doing like English stuff, and yeah, and I was doing my beauty therapy course. I'm sure that's how it went. Yeah, it would have been about the same time. It was really fun. These beginning relationships were more secretive. I have Venus in my 12th house, which is obviously the love planet in Cancer, conjunct with Jupiter. So that was all like the fun and pleasure of growing up, and maybe partying a little too hard sometimes, and definitely as I got older. So yeah, I think my mum, I can't remember like her meeting him, because we spent such a limited time together, and when we did have time together, obviously we're going to want it on our own. But I will tell you, you'll hear a story soon about how my mum crashed the whole implosion of what ended this relationship, really. And good job too, really, because I wouldn't be, I don't know, things happen for a reason, I believe. In my Buddhist ways, I do believe that. We obviously weren't meant to be together, but today I'm going to leave it there. It's been quite a long time, and I hope you enjoy.